I was able to employ 120 employees. We have like 5 different businesses. Everything is profitable until yun pandemic tinama kami.
Hi mga co-founders! Welcome to another episode of Failures to Founders. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our sponsor for today, which is the Royal Manor Hot Spring Resort in Los Baños, Laguna, and the Global Sleep Group. Maraming salamat po, Sir Chris Alombides, for sponsoring this, podcast place for today. Maraming salamat. Grabe to si Sir Chris. Napaka-generous na tao. Diba?
Ganda ng lugar, sobra.
Pero bago namin kayo introduce fully, I'd like to introduce ourselves first. My name is Yael Bautista, your techpreneur host.
Brian Soriano, your Isaw King.
Chef Anthony Yang, your chef consultant.
And Sir Burbs Manalo, your Baresca King.
There you go. Welcome to the show, Sir Chris Alombides. Now, meron akong konting ititi up kay Sir Chris here. Siya lang naman ang CEO ng The Global Sleep Group, and siya lang din naman ang may-ari ng The Royal Manor Hot Spring Resort, 'di ba? Grabe, no? Para sa napaka-humble na tao, ang daming negosyo. Sir Chris, ano pa ba yung mga negosyo mo?
Once again, thank you so much, Failures to Founders, to you guys that nagpunta kayo dito sa resort.
Oo nga sobrang thankful din kami.
I really appreciate your presence and going back to your question, ano ba yung mga businesses natin? So, my businesses are like the main business that I have. We are specialized in sleep disorder, specifically in sleep apnea. So, we have like 6 locations across the country. We also have in Canada and also in Indonesia. Aside from that, I do have a consulting firm. So I do business consulting specifically for medical clinics, hospitals, and any medical specialty clinics. So yun yung side hustle ko. And because I like hospitality business, I like to travel, I came up with the idea to try like a resort business. That's why I came up with this concept that, luxury resort, a private resort villa here in Los Baños, which is we're here right now. So far, those 3 main businesses are keeping me busy, and I know I don't have any time for, play around and mainly focus lang talaga sa day-to-day operation.
Grabe no, 3 negosyo. 'Di ba? 3 negosyo tapos Sir Chris parang at peace yung niya, parang hindi man lang nai-stress. Right? Pogi pa din.
I was able to manage my stress by not reacting to any issues instead of focusing on solution. So yun siguro yung nabago ko over the years, kasi before as a business owner, I know that if you're gonna be entrepreneur, it's gonna be a non-stop headache. It's gonna be a non-stop troubleshooting, problem solving. Siguro yun yung na-learn ko throughout the years is to manage on how to react on the crisis, right? So if you're new into the business, make sure that you know how to respond if there's a tragedy or crisis in the business. And it's very common, especially if you're a startup.
Right. Now, Chris, ito tanong ko lang. Kailan ka nagsimulang magnegosyo at bakit ka nagsimulang magnegosyo?
Good question, kasi I'm not saying that hindi naman kami lumaki sa hirap talaga. Kasi kala ko noon, if I'm selling balut, if I'm selling pandesal on the street, I think sobrang hirap na ng buhay. Na-experience ko kasi yon when during my elementary days, right? And my dad is an engineer. My dad is a good provider. My mom is a housewife. We're 5 siblings. And then, nagbenta ako ng balot, and nakita ko talaga ang separation ng middle class, upper middle class, saka wealthy.
Right.
Right? So, yun lang. Parang I keep thinking that, if you're going to work from the province, every time we go to Metro Manila, I can see the separation. All the wealthy people goes to 5-star hotel. All the, middle class or like us that, I would say middle class, hindi namin siya ma-afford. It's really hard for us to afford paying like that time siguro 5,000 lang ang Sofitel noon or yung Shangri-La, right? So yung mga boss ng parents ko or yung mga boss na entrepreneur, they always go to like Engrande, Magarbo. Pero doon kami sa Turo-Turo or doon kami sa Goldilocks kakain instead sa hotel. So nakita ko talaga yung separation. So from there, it's not my motivation. Para nakita ko lang na okay, I think 90% of the problem sa buong mundo can be solved by financial. Right? And a lot of people, sabi nga nila, di ba, 50% ng divorce is nangyayari because there's a financial problem. Right? So at the end of the day, hindi ako mukhang pera. But yung motivation ko talaga is to make sure that I'm financially free. And alam mo yon na pag may kailangan yung family ko, I can easily provide. Hindi mo na yung iisipin pa yung ibibigay. Especially nung mom ko, kailangan niya mag-dialysis, at least I can easily produce that help to the family member, right? Without denting your pocket. So yun yung parang nakita ko na okay, I think ito pala yung matrix ng mundo. You need to be financially able for you to have like a good life, not because you're getting freedom, you're getting satisfied by the money, but the freedom that the money can give you.
Grabe, no? Like from balot vendor,
Yeah.
di ba? Na naging entrepreneur ka ngayon.
Mhm.
Kasi ang motivation mo is really, alam mo yun, to achieve what yung na-achieve nung etong hierarchy na to. Tama
That's
ba?
right, yeah.
Right? So, that's very realistic. Kasi majority of us, when we see people that are doing very well, di ba? Ang tendency natin is that gusto ko rin yan. At hindi masama yun.
Yes.
Dapat alam ng tao na pwede natin gawing motivasyon yon or motivation yon para, di ba, mag-strive harder para ma-achieve natin yung mga goals natin.
And Harry, I'm being perfectly honest with you guys that I'm very ambitious. So sobrang ambisyoso. Sabihin mo na okay, mataas ang ambition ko, pero I make sure that I'm gonna achieve it. Like,
Right.
I set a goal for like, long-term plan, short-term plan. And yun talaga yung nagda-drive ko. Every time nagigising ka, masaya ka kasi you are achieving your goal. Right?
And wala masama doon. Ang
There's
pagiging
nothing
ambitious or ang pagiging ambisyoso ay hindi masama. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
That can drive a person eh.
That's
Diba? Now, another question that I have here, Chris, no? Bakit sleep clinic? Bakit, ventilators?
Okay. So nag-start siya. That time is when I decided mag-take ng program nung college ako. So we cannot afford to basically go to a prestige university. And that time, ang gusto ko sana mag-nursing sa UST. Siyempre, may dream ka, di ba? Pero I know that my dad can only, kasi marami kaming college, my dad can afford to send me for college, but hindi yung luxury, hindi sa prestige university.
Mm-mm.
So, nagsettle ako sabi ko sa dad ko, parang ang dami na akong nurses, why don't I try respiratory therapist, right? So, nung nag-RT ako, natapos ko siya in 4-year term, like yung 4-year degree na as a respiratory therapist. And then with the help of working odd jobs, like helping my brother-in-law sa car sales business niya, I was able to finance myself. And then after graduation, nag-move na ako sa Manila to practice my respiratory therapy program. Nagkataon naman na I'm so lucky that I applied. May nag-invite sa akin na going to Canada, and pretty much like I applied, and I got so lucky that me and my partner that time we got accepted, right? So yeah, that's basically yun yung naging nangyari sa akin. And then from there, dun na ako nagkaroon ng experience as a respiratory therapist, right? And nakita ko talaga, sabi ko nga sa inyo, nakikita ko yung doctor is like they're gonna operate a patient and they're gonna spend like couple of hours and they make millions in a year, right? Pero kami mga nurses or respiratory therapists, we're making good money, but not compared to a business people, right?
Right.
Business people that was really established their business can sleep while the money is coming. For us, right, we need to, as an employee, we need to grind every hour, and lahat yun is talagang katas talaga ng paghihirap mo, enable for you to make money. So parang nasawa ako sa ganung matrix ng buhay, and then that's the time that inisip ko na I think I need to become an entrepreneur, right? That's the time na nag-specialize ako sa sleep, and then nung pinadala ako sa US, enable for me to get the certification, become sleep technologist, and then pagbalik ko sa Canada, I served the university hospital that sent me there for 5 years kasi that's my contract. And then nakita ko may niche kasi nakapila ang pasyente eh. Nakapila ka ako ang pasyente dito sa hospital, bakit wala bang private institution?
Mm.
So that made me think that, okay, why don't we create a private institution that will cater those leftovers from the hospital? So, nagsanla ako, binenta ko yung sasakyan, kinuha ko yung line of credit ng bahay namin, and then we invested almost $500,000 on that industry. Oh my God, after 5 months of operation, I was able to recover it and then we're positive cash flow.
ROI na agad.
Yeah, like the first time that it landed, yung 1 million money na nagland sa bank account namin as our profit is the age of 30 years old.
Wow.
So from the 30 years old up to 37, we are doing really well. I was able to employ 120 employees. We have like 5 different businesses. Everything is profitable until yung pandemic, tinamaan kami.
What happened no pandemic? Anong nangyari?
So yun nga talaga yung pinaka rock bottom talaga yun, Brad. Anong nangyari sa amin nun is pretty much like we are very aggressive as a young entrepreneur, right? You're looking at your cash flow, you're looking at your sales. If you're making like 800 to 1.5 million monthly sales, like you can, ang isip mo niyan is scale, rescale. So we did that. Like we were able to build like a lot of businesses. I'm the first, I actually founded like first Filipino-owned multi-specialty clinic in Canada. And it was viral all over social media. Doon talaga ako nakilala. Nung pandemic, of course, like we highly invested sa real estate. Bumili kami ng mga commercial properties. We invested a lot in manpowers, equipments, and then hindi naman natin anticipate na magkakaroon ng pandemic.
Right.
Right? And nagkaroon kami ng millions of dollars na utang sa bangko. Right? And then, wala kaming choice kundi mag-shutdown. Then mag-shutdown yung company, and then basically, almost wala naman akong natirang pera kasi yun nga sinasabi ko na I like driving fancy cars, like luxury cars, luxury brands. We like to travel. At the end of the day, wala pala akong ipon. Wala pala kaming asset kundi bahay lang. So that made me realize that, okay, if I'm gonna start this over again, I want to make sure that I need to be smarter and wiser in investing.
Right.
And then I packed my bag. I came to the Philippines trying like only like few $1,000s on my pocket. And then yung mga naipon ko, fortunately may naipon akong konti. I start the Global Sleep Group dito sa Pilipinas. And yun nga, in 3 years time, nag-10x yung business. The recipe on that is that non-stop. I think if you don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? So what I did is pretty much I applied all the things that I've learned from the operation as a business owner in Canada, yung pagiging detail-oriented, goal-focused, and also like I'm the 1% eh. Ako yung mga 99% na gumagawa ng business ko, binago ko yung approach. Kumbaga, binago ko yung sistema. Yun, na 10x namin. And that time, I was able to save, ngayon, sabi ko, medyo smarter. Instead, I buy a Ferrari, I built this. Right? Even, I can buy a G-Wagon, but, I built a property. So, nag-switch talaga yung,
Mentality, mindset, di ba?
Mindset ko.
Right. So,
Nag-focus ako, parang, Sleep Clinic is doing really well, then I highly invested in real estate. Like what you're doing, right? That's why I keep asking questions to you.
right.
How can you multiple this and become a billionaire easily? You told me the recipe, exactly what I'm thinking. Right? So,
Right. Let's not go into that. Pare, ito you're doing really well ngayon. So baga, ito ba, makukonsider mo na it's your second, chance in life? Kasi syempre, when you were doing well, very, very well before, kasi I would say, you were a millionaire, really, di ba? Ngayon, nabawi mo yung pera, gumaganda yung you're investing in real estate. If ever ba, na let's say, bibigyan ka ng opportunity ng pagkakataon na mawala ulit to, confident ka ba na kaya mo ulit gawin?
yeah, I think so. Kasi parang I can just do it again. Yeah, I
You
still
know
have
the recipe na.
Yeah, I know I have still the energy, and I think if you're gonna ask me if I'm gonna retire, I'm not gonna retire. I think it's gonna be my legacy. I'm gonna pass it along with my kids, but I'm still gonna work on the business, right?
Right.
Hindi ko nakikita yung yung sarili ko nag-slow down. In fact, I'm seeing myself to be more 10 times aggressive in the next few years. Humahanap lang ako ng perfect timing, and sinabi ko if my kids can join me on this goal, I think life is gonna be more easier. Right? Kasi hindi na lang ako mag-isa. Kasi ako, pretty much, may business partner ako rito sa Pilipinas. Pero I gave them an opportunity, a small percentage, enable for me to get help. Right? Para lang may mobilization ako sa Pilipinas. Pero I want someone sana na, I can I can replicate my brain, the way that I think, the way that I attack all the, yung businesses. That's why I'm hoping na mag-join yung anak ko, and going back to your question, I can do it easily.
You can do it.
I can even if you throw me like in a place that bago lang sa akin, kasi nasubukan ko sa Indonesia. Bibigyan ko na lang kayo ng example.
Actually, doon nga yung next
Oo.
question ko di ba?
Yung Indonesia ko, sabi ko nga sa inyo, I'm being honest here, na yung Indonesia ko is still bleeding cash. I'm not gonna say the figure, but still bleeding cash.
Yeah.
Ibig sabihin, hindi ko siya na-anticipate. We're already a 9th month operation, right? And I'm still funding it. We spend a lot of money in like investing in office, the clinic, manpower, trainings, procurement of the equipment. And then all of a sudden, may language barrier. We're having a problem with to take the medical license of as a distributor of equipment. May problema kami sa license to operate as a medical equipment provider. So there's so many issues that sometimes iniisip ko, I'm gonna close it or But the good thing is that we're 99% na tapos na. Nakapending na lang sa custom yung ating mga equipment, and then once it's cleared up by next week, hopefully we can operate next month. So yeah, it's a long process, but I think you can be grinding for 4 years without making any money. Pero yung ika-5th year mo, that's the time that, holy crap, like boatload of money, right?
Kasi
It
wala
can
ibang gumagawa, Sir Chris, ikaw lang eh.
Wala eh.
So pagpasok ko doon, ikaw yung nakapasok, yung unang-una, yun yung pinakamaganda.
Which is, yun nga yung maganda kasi mahirap yung business. Eh.
Yes, oo. Kasi
Right?
wala na ibang susunod kagad sa'yo eh.
Exactly.
So captured mo lahat ng market doon pagpasok mo.
We're hoping, sir. We're hoping na it's gonna happen like that.
Claim
right?
it na, sir, sigurado.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty optimistic it's gonna happen. So, yeah.
Next question.
Yes,
Brother. Ito medyo, kasi kami medyo amazed kami sa mga, imagine mo, bumalik ka dito 2020. 2021 ba?
Yes,
2020.
2020.
Pandemic. In a span of 3-4 years, you're able to achieve this much. Right? That's a very short period of time, mind you. I mean, I'm telling you this. Totoo yun, di ba? Ang napakaililot para sa taong makagawa ng ganitong success. Ano yung personality na dapat meron ka para ma-achieve mo yun in that short period of time?
I never sleep. Like,
You own a sleep clinic and then you never sleep,
sabi ko nga sa'yo, kung hindi ako madidistract, I'm still gonna, 24/7, I'm thinking about the operation. I'm thinking on how to improve the process. I'm very OCD pagdating sa clinical process, pagdating sa, streamline, making sure that efficient yung operation, right? So, yun talaga yung I'm very meticulous pagdating sa how to measure the data, right? Kasi data-driven yung clinic namin eh.
Yeah.
So, meaning that lahat ng ginagawa ng empleyado ko, I'm not micromanaging, but you showed me your figure. If you cannot show me your figure, you're fired. So pretty much like, for example, I gave you a target, how many patients you're gonna see in a day, how much revenue you're gonna make every day, how much money you make every hour. I need to know that. And that's the deciding factor if I'm gonna keep you or I'm gonna fire you.
KPIs, right? It's very
KPIs,
important,
yeah.
right?
KPIs.
People don't understand that KPIs are there for a reason. Diba? Kasi let's face it, diba, sa Amerika, sa Canada, when you, for example, nag-decide ka as a business owner, you're fired, walang magagawa ang government doon. Madaling magtanggal ng tao.
Yeah.
Pero dito sa Pilipinas, let's face it, kahit pagaano, I would say this in a very, very nice way, kahit pagaano productive yung empleyado mo, 'di ba? Kahit pag gaano kaano yan, you have to follow due process.
Yes.
So that's why there is a KPI para,
That's right.
'di ba? You're protected, the
Yeah.
employees protected. Pero sometimes sa ating mga business owners, hindi 'yun madali,
That's
'di ba? Kaya naiintindihan kita yung ano mo 'yun, 'di ba? Pero ito pa, isang tanong na I think medyo makaka-relate ka. Hindi madaling mag-iisang negosyante.
Hindi
Tama.
negosyante.
Oo, mag-isang negosyante. Hindi madaling mag-isang negosyante. Lalo na kung ikaw ay hindi full-time na naka-base sa Pilipinas.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? Being someone na Canadian-Filipino or Filipino-Canadian, 'di ba? what, how do you divide your time? How do you calculate? Paano mo pinagsasabay yung Canadian business mo, Indonesian business mo, and yung Philippine-based business mo?
So pretty much like my brain is very compartmentalized. Pag naka-focus ako, for example, yung 6 ng hapon till 2 in the morning, I'm focused on operating my business here in Asia. Right? Yung 6 to 2 na yon. And then pagdating ng 2 in the morning, I sleep. And then I basically wake up around 6 in the morning. And then either I go to the clinic if nandun ako sa Vancouver, or I work remote. Right? Between 9 till 2. Then 2 o'clock, I'll pick up my kids. And then I drive them to activities. And pretty much every day, 24/7, 7 days a week, that's what my routine. Right? So, having said that, nakakuha pa rin naman ako ng rest time. Yung pag nakahiga ako on my couch, right? I still, pag ako, hindi ako nanood ng TV, 24/7 yung brain ko is gumagana. Kaya ang phone ko is loaded of notes. Makikita mo, financial, operation, clinical, nasa notes yan. Everyday nagno-notes ako. And then everyday, sinesend ko sa EA ko, sa executive assistant ko, kung ano yung mga gusto ko. And then sasabihin ko sa kanila, I want to implement this, let's try this, okay, let's try this project. So it's a non-stop gig. If you're a business owner, it's a non-stop headache. You need to be accustomed to it.
Right.
Kasi kung hindi, heart attack. Right? Kaya sabi ko nga, you need stroke, heart attack, right? Proper sleep. I don't get that, but at least I get a quality of 4 hours sleep every day. Yun kasi yung once I hit the 4 hour, 5 hour sleep, quality sleep, I'm up and running again. So going back to your question, paano ko na-divide yung time ko, I made a routine, but yung routine na yun is breakable. Kasi hindi ka naman pwede maging komportable sa routine mo eh. So for example, may nangyari na may na-aksidenteng pasyente and you cannot dinedelegate ko siya. Kasi even though the company is doing really, really well in terms of sales, I'm the type of person that I still want to get involved. They keep telling me a lot of people like millionaires that I met here in the Philippines that they don't really look in their business. Mayroon akong phobia, I don't know why. Parang gusto kong makita na ano nangyayari dyan. Parang I'm nosy pagdating sa operation.
Right. Dapat naman talaga, to be honest with you, no matter how successful your business is, kailangan alam mo pa rin kung ano yung nangyayari. Kasi negosyo mo yan eh. Imagine this, yan yung lifeline mo. Paano pag biglang pumutol dyan? Hindi patay ka.
That's right.
Diba? Kasi ako, minsan may ginagawa ko tumatawag pa rin ako sa mga line. Marami akong number, may US number ako, Canadian number ako. So, tatawag ako. Diba? Tatanungin ko. Hindi nila alam boses ko. Minsan, binabago ko eh. Diba? So,
I do the same thing.
Right. That's how you know if they're really working, if they're really doing their job, right?
I do mystery shopping. Yeah. Right? Like I called my clinic. I act like a patient. I basically call the attention of whoever works in the clinic. I don't care if you're a doctor or respiratory therapist. I have like CCTV in my house.
Right.
So pag in-on ko yun, 24/7 yun naka-on. Titignan ko sila. Yung mga nakikita ko rin kaya nga sabi ko, yung mga staff ko, pag sila, they're trash talk. Sabi ko, pinagsasabihan ko sila, as long it's not, hindi naririnig ng pasyente, okay lang sa akin. Pero nakikita ko naririnig ko lahat ng pinag-uusapan ninyo.
Yun ang hindi nila alam, no?
So, ayun, kasi yun ay life ko eh.
Right.
I have 75 employees and sa all the businesses and pretty much nakikita ko sila lagi.
Right. Are you a micromanager?
No.
No.
I give them what I do normally is I train them well. I gave them the policy procedure. I-memorize mo yung book na yan. And then, if you have a question, ask me. Right? And then meron kaming shadowing. So we structure the way we do the training until you're up and running. Normally the training is like 3 to 6 months. Ganong katagal. Hindi ko sila pinababayaan kung meron pa silang mga kailangang i-polish. And then lahat yan dumadaan na meron kaming revalida na tinatawag. Lahat ng empleyado is basically ako yung final touch. Ibig sabihin, magpipresent ka sa akin, either you're a doctor, nurse, or kung sino ka man, magpipresent ka sa akin on how you doing your consultation with your patient. Kasi I want to maintain the standard of customer service. Kasi dito sa Pilipinas, I'm not saying mas madami dito sa Philippines. What I've noticed is that parang bara-bara.
Bahala na yan.
Bahala na yan.
Okay na to. Okay na to.
One thing that I learned from Jeff Bezos is become obsession in customer service. Imagine mo yung pasyente namin, na-consult na namin, na-treat na namin, Lifetime yung follow-up namin dyan. Lifetime. That's our commitment. And no one can beat it. Kasi unang-una, wala silang infrastructure. Before I start that, the program here in the Philippines, na mindset ko na yan talaga yung program ko na every time that the patient entered to our system, they're gonna receive a lifetime follow-up. Right? So that's made us, I think, successful because we're really obsessed in managing our patient.
And that's very important.
Yeah.
Kasi your patients, remember you're doing business because there's a need for it. Diba? Your patient needs it. And ito, hindi naman this is a respiratory device.
Yes.
So, this can be a matter of life and death.
That's
And by doing a simple touch of doing a follow-up, diba, pinapakita mo sa kanila that you really care.
That's
And
right.
sometimes it goes a very long way. Diba? Yung simpleng, ma'am, okay pa po ba kayo? Kamusta na po yung natin? Diba?
Yung
I've seen a
marunong
lot of,
makaalala. Yung marunong makaalala kasi,
Oo.
yung pinakamahalaga eh.
And normal yan sa mga Filipino employees, right? And even in Canada. Like if they get irate from the patient, they tends to ignore the patient and they don't talk to patient anymore. Ako hindi. The more na nagagalit yung pasyente, the more ako nagiging proactive.
Right.
The more ako na nagiging obsessed sa kanya na I want to help him or her, right? Karamihan sa naging empleyado ko before, may mentality na gano'n na pag kunwari yung pasyente, they calling yung respiratory therapist, they gonna call respiratory therapist 3 to 4 times a night, they get irritated. Binago ko yung mentality na yun. If you have the job you have the job responsibility to deliver to the company. I pay you, that's my responsibility. That's what I do. So hindi kayo align sa akin, hindi ka pwedeng maging empleyado.
Yung after sales pala sir, ang pinakasikreto ng negosyo mo.
After
Or isa
sales,
sa after
Oo.
sales.
After sales and being detailed oriented.
Detailed oriented.
Ang ang isang sleep clinic ba? Mahirap ba siyang gawin? Sa mga gusto, sabihin natin may mga nanonood tayo, grabe, napaka-lucrative pala ng isang sleep clinic, di ba? Let's face it, di ba? Marami talagang ma-encourage,
Yeah.
mamomotivate na maging isang Sir Chris Salombides, di ba? So, madali ba siyang simulan?
I've seen a lot of I would say madali siyang simulan kung you're gonna be like a fly-by-night. Right? But if you have a problem to solve, like meron kang drive and you're basically gonna, if you want like a business that
That will drive.
exactly.
Definitely,
Oh. So hindi siya madali.
Hindi siya.
Unang-una kasi it's gonna take a lot of time. Imagine mo, you're dealing with a sick patient. Yung pasyente may hypertension, post-heart attack, and then the only thing that the patient can save their lives is to have the machine. Kasi if they're not gonna use the machine, their brain hindi marireach ng oxygen yung brain nila tsaka yung heart nila. So ang mangyayari dyan, mag-heart attack lang uli sila. So ang goal namin is to make sure to prevent that to happen. So hindi lang kami, may kalabang kami sa Bangbang. We have a lot of patient from Bang. The good thing is that the patient right now is getting more and more information through internet. Right? So kasi yan ang model namin basically digital kami, di ba? So a lot of people that basically mga fly-by-night na company na nag-ooperate ng ganyan. At the end of the day, the patient will go to us, they're gonna have a consultation with us. It's gonna cost more for them to get to our services.
Kasi may maling prosesong nagawa sa kanila.
And
Yung
sometimes,
mahirap Yung magto-troubleshoot ka ng mali. Parang pag renovate lang isang bagay yan, dapat hindi ganito Dapat ganitong style siya, pero ginawa yung ibang style na ikaw mismo magre-resolve.
Giving you an
Ang
example.
hirap. Yeah, actually, pili ko yung isa sa mga sakit ng mga Pilipino na gusto lagi instant na resultang mura.
Oh.
Di ba?
And which is, someone is selling CPAP for, let's say, 60,000-70,000 pesos, for example, sa Bambang. Okay? And then all of a sudden, eto case namin to. May case kami like 2 weeks ago. Na ICU because nagkaroon siya ng pulmonary, basta sumabog yung baga. Kasi you're putting like positive positive pressure sa baga mo Ina-apply mo yan. Para alam mo yung pressure dun sa pinanghahangin ng gulong.
Yeah.
Yun yung papasok sa gaga mo. And you're breathing on that like 7 to 8 hours every night.
Kasi nga, fly-by-night, so walang proper consultation.
Wala. So we've seen a lot of those. Yung sinasabi ko na-
Sumabog yung baga nila?
Yeah, it can happen. Right? It
Kasi
can
nga,
happen.
without the proper setting, with the proper testing ng...
Kasi meron niya, may titration, may pressure adjustment, minomonitor namin yung online kung yung bang treatment is effective. Marami naman talagang marami katulad niyan, di ba? They wanna sell it and they're facing liability, right? Doon sa pasyente. You know? Pero it's Pilipinas hindi naman lahat can afford,
Right.
right? And the treatment is expensive, very expensive. So going back to your question, I want to address the question that you asked me about in a 2 to 3 years span of time kung paano namin nagawa yon is that natutunan ko talaga na mag-e-commerce. We are the first company, first medical clinic na nag-implement dito ng contactless procedure noong 2020
Because of the pandemic.
because of the pandemic.
Right.
So we were able to help the patient who's suffering from COVID, who cannot breathe. Basically, we do telemedicine consultation, we do telemedicine setup, we do pretty much like remote. So nakakapag-access tayo sa Visayas, Mindanao without our doctors or respiratory therapists na pupunta ron. So naging popular yung service natin na ganun sa mga hospitals kasi kami lang yung nakakapag-provide. So that's why parang sinamantala namin yung time na yon.
Right.
And the rest are history. Like it's become nag-multiple na siya. Kami na yung nag-number 1 dito sa buong Pilipinas. We basically got awarded that we increase our equipment. Nag-increase kami ng 65%
Wow,
last year.
that's very high. Let's say you're doing really well right now
Hindi ko na iniisip yung pera. Yung hindi na masyado iniisip yung
Di katulad before.
Oo, mahirap
Diba?
kasi yun oo.
The sleep industry is really doing well right now, right? Now, kung bibigyan ka ng pagkakataong magsimula ulit ng isa pang negosyo, ano yung negosyong sisimulan mo, Sir Chris?
It's my dream to have like the first sleep center sa buong Southeast Asia.
Sleep center.
Kasi I've been dreaming of having kasi di ba sinabi ko nga sa inyo, ang Asian Eye Institute. You ask around Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, they know Asian Eye Institute. Walang sleep specialist clinic. Wala talaga siya yung hospital na nag-ooperate 24/7 na focus lang talaga sa sleep.
Hindi binibigyan ng pansin o
Yes.
importansya.
1 out of 4 Filipinos are suffering from sleep disorder.
Yeah.
Hindi lang sleep apnea. We have 200 classification of sleep diseases.
Wow.
Kasama
Dami,
dyan, kasama dyan ng jet lag, parasomnias, restless leg syndrome,
Insomnia.
sleepwalking, insomnia, so many na hindi natin na pofokusan dito sa Southeast Asia.
At hindi tayo aware, no?
Hindi tayo aware.
Marami pala.
And
Kasi pakiramdam ko meron to.
Number 1 indication is like snoring. Okay? So yun talaga number 1. Then if you cannot complete your 8 hours of work and you tend to take a nap, medyo drowsy ka. If you wake up, medyo drowsy ka.
That's one
Indication yung mga yun.
indication.
And then you keep gaining weight. At feeling mo, lumalakas kang kumain.
Wait lang.
Yeah. I have one.
Daming check doon Snoring.
Check.
Gaining weight.
Check.
Merong screening kasi dyan yung tinatawag na stop bang. So stop, number 1 S for snoring. Number 2 is tired during the day. And O for observe that you stop breathing. And P for high blood pressure. And bang is like B for BMI. Pag ang BMI mo is more than 30, of course, you're indicated. Which is your, I must admit, where BMI is more than 30, right? Yung we're overweight, ako. Age mo, if you're aged like 45 and up, right? So, basta stop bang na yun. Then next size should be like below, pag more than 17, you're indicated to get tested. And the last one is the gender, mostly in male, right? So, sumagot ka lang ng 1 or 2 or 2 and 3, 2 or 3. Meron ka lang snoring, tired during the day, you're done. You need to get tested because guaranteed 90% you have obstructive sleep apnea.
Chris, tanong ko, gaano ka-importante ma-resolve yung problema ngayon?
It's really important because you're improving the quality of life. Kung hindi, you're gonna keep you're gonna develop a lot of problem. And number 1 na tinitirang sleep apnea is puso. 90% of the patient, or 89% to be exact, right? 89% of the patient who suffered from hypertension na hindi nagre-respond sa gamot is meron silang sleep apnea. So, gamot ba ang ibibigay? Because the practice here in the Philippines is that pumunta ka, may hypertension ka, bigyan ka ng medication. Sa Canada at saka sa US, ibang approach. You go there, you need to get consultation from the doctor. Okay, tatanungin ka sa stop bank. Then pag tinanong ka sa stop bank, meron kang isang indication, they will send you for sleep testing. Kaya nga sabi ko, every corner sa US and Canada, there's sleep lab.
Tama ba, Chris? Pag naghihilik ka, mamamatay ka.
Madali ka mamatay. Kasi especially pag malakas, ha? No, I mean like in reality, right? Yung pag sobrang lakas mo maghilik, talaga yung paghihilik mo is it's blocking your airway. Like yung ganun talaga. Gumaganon ka, nag-snort, right? You need to get checked. Kasi yung snort na yan, ang nangyayari dyan, nagbablock yung airway mo, bumabagsak ang oxygen mo. Ngayon, pag gising ka, kahit ilagay ko yung apparatus na pulse oximeter sa finger mo, okay? I-hold mo yung breath mo. Hindi bababa ang oxygen saturation. Pero because you're not aware that it's happening in your body, may tendency yung paghihilik mo, it can lead to death. Right? Kaya yung iba hindi nagigising. So that's and pretty much, hindi nila gagawing aggressive yung treatment ng sleep apnea kung hindi nakikitaan niya na there's a potential of like heart attack. And which is proven and tested na yan.
Chris, again enough, sa mga viewers natin, saan nila kailangan pumunta to get your services?
Global Sleep Care, you can just Google like Global Sleep. If you're looking to get tested or if you want to get tested for sleep apnea testing or anything about your sleep that bothers you, let us know. Hindi lang sa paghihilik, pero restless leg, restless sleeper, you getting elbowed by, eto pa, isa pang research to, 50% of the patient that getting elbowed by the partner, sinisiko ka. Yung siniko, 100% positive ng OSA yun. Yeah.
What's OSA?
Obstructive sleep apnea. Pag sinisiko ka ng partner mo,
Yung ginigising mo.
yun nga, yun.
Ano yun?
Exactly the same. Ang tawag doon is elbow test. Elbow. Yeah, elbow test.
Ginagawa tapos di nagigising.
Ginigising ka.
Mami, huwag mo ako gigisingin, mami.
Pag nakakabala ka, gigising ka, yun na ba yun?
Yeah.
That means pag ginanong ka nakakabala.
Kasi nasadya talaga. Uy, pare. Hindi ka malakas.
Oo.
Sobrang lakas maghilik.
Are you using your devices yourself
I use it every day.
every day? Do you have one?
Para
Right now, I don't have it kasi galing kami sa Zambales and
okay.
basically naiwan ko rin sa clinic ko sa Las Piñas. Pero pag I feel it, pag mga 2 days na hindi ko siya nagagamit, sorry. I feel tired.
Ang another question ko dito, no, para lang mas malinaw sa mga audience, sa mga co-founders natin out there, 'di ba? Bilang entrepreneur,
Yeah.
'di ba? Para sa mga co-founders natin na nanonood ngayon, ano yung dapat meron ka para mag-thrive ka as a business owner sa health industry? Given na yung health industry is maraming sub-industries, right?
I think number 1 is a non-stop gig. So you need to innovate yourself.
Innovate yourself.
Innovate, like make sure that ako, personally, I go to a conference like pretty much every month. Right? To make sure that I adapt kung ano yung state of the art, ano yung mga latest treatment, ano yung mga latest diagnostic equipment na available sa industry. And yun nga, yung sinasabi ko nga na ngayon mayroon na mga implant device na treatment for obstructive sleep apnea. Though hindi pa siya accessible sa Southeast Asia, that's what we're planning to bring. So, number 1 is utilize what the industry is, kung saan pupunta industry. Like AI, innovation, technology.
Sabayan.
Then automation, right? Automation. I'm a big fan of automation, right? Like as much as possible, yun nga, yung measuring KPIs through AMR, or ginagamit kasi namin is electronic medical record, then meron din siyang capability to measure the productivity of the staff.
Right.
So, lahat talaga is innovation. Like, kung ano yung bago sa industry, ina-apply namin dito sa Pilipinas.
You need to be, fast in adaptation.
Yes.
Dapat kailangan mabilis ka, kailangan innovative ka.
adaptive
Saka
ka.
dapat continuous learning. Di ba? Yun yung sinasabi ni Sir Chris. Kasi totoo naman
You cannot be comfortable eh.
Yeah.
Yes.
You'll never know. Mamaya pala, yung kompetensya mo, na-adapt na yung bagong technology sa Singapore. Ikaw, yung ginamit mo 5 years ago pang technology, syempre, dun sila sa mas bago.
Outdated
That's right,
ka.
diba?
So, dapat updated.
Saka tama rin Sir Chris, automation, he loves automation kasi automation is the next best thing sa pag-replicate mo sa sarili mo.
That's right.
Ang hindi alam ng tao, automation automation muna bago AI. Alright? So you need to understand that, di ba? People don't know that. And people don't know that AI is just a big database.
That's right.
Di ba? So yun yung mga hindi alam ng mga co-founders natin na nandyan ngayon, nanonood, na sana, moving forward, if they want to, replicate themselves, one best thing to do is to look at automating your process.
That's right. Yeah.
Diba?
I like automation because it saved me a lot of time and I can focus more on the bigger project. And not only that, I can basically divert my effort dun sa mga important things. Kasi I don't wanna waste time, right?
Time and money. Sigurado. Kasi
time and money.
yung
That's right.
time, yung pati yung mga staff mo, malilesen, di ba? Mas mabilis pa sumagot.
That's right.
Tapos wala pang emotions yan. Wala pang problema yan na dinadala sa trabaho, no?
That's right. That's right.
Alright.
So when you said like emotion, I don't mix emotion in business. That's basically my principle, right? If you're having up your personal issue, meron kaming sick leave, you can take that leave and come back when you're well. So very straightforward ang operation namin. I would say like we're a kind of Western type of employer. Like, ayoko na, number one, ayoko na late.
Yeah.
Ang gagalaiti ako sa late man. Oo. Pag late nag-show up yung empleyado ko, makakarinig talaga sa akin. Oo.
Ako nga, ang alam ng mga tao sa akin, ito, very common to. I hate two things. Tardiness and absenteeism.
Yes.
Kasi 'di ba, it shows your dedication. Kasi a contract between an employer and employee, it's basically a commitment 'di ba? By not showing up on time, by not showing up sa workplace that you're supposed to, 'di ba? It shows your commitment, 'di ba?
And yung I personally, if I can do it, I always encourage my staff to do it. Like for example, like we have a 2-minute rule. In the number one is like phone calls. I want if the phone rings, I want it to be answered in one ring. That's our rules, right? Nag-ring ang phone, dapat sagutin mo one ring, right?
Grabe
Inquiries. Yeah.
One ring. Kring!
Yeah. Kasi ako, I do it myself. I called, then I watched them in the video, right? And if I called them, if they didn't pick up the phone, they got reprimanded, right? So, another thing is that response rate sa inquiries. When I did my market research, nung mag-start kami rin sa Pilipinas, they're comfortable. Yung competition namin is really comfortable. I'm not comfortable. I answer inquiries 24/7. In fact, 2 minutes. Right? So, naka-vibrate yung phone ko dati, nakalagay sa tenga ko. Pag nag-vibrate yan, automatic sagot yan. Ginawa ko yan for the first 2 years nung nag-start yung Global. So, talagang, and then, we compete. Yung business partner ko, na siya yung naka-assign sa Pilipinas, I do the operation during the night, siya yung sa So, kaya ang ginawa namin, 24/7 yung operations clinic.
Kasi, nandun kayo, dalawa kayo nag-share yung responsibility.
And then the time na naka-afford na kami ng employees, naka-afford na kami ng mga, shifting para magsagot ng mga consultation, until it become a habit. Like, yun na yung naging practice ng company.
Ang galing, no?
Parang batas militar pala, no?
Pero to be honest with you, that's what you need to do Kasi technically, alam mo yun, may tendency talaga na minsan yung mga employees natin na i-hire, maging comfortable. Lalo na kung wala talagang, alam mo yun, wala na si supervise. Ay, wala si boss, nasa ibang bansa. 'Di ba? Pwede naman siguro mga 10 rings bago ko sagutin 'yan. Pwede naman siguro yung email na pumasok ng hanggang 6 yung clinic mo, ng 5:55, bukas ko nasasagutin yan. Di ba? Minsan kasi
bukas na yan.
Response rate.
Yung manyana habit.
Oo, yung manyana habit.
Procrastination.
We don't practice that. And in fact, that I always mention that to my staff that if I caught them, they're gonna pay for it, right? Like, they're gonna get fired. So, I don't really care if you're a top performer. Even if you're bringing me like 5 million a month, I don't care.
Right.
Right? I don't like to have an employee that gonna use your skills as a ransom. Right? I hate that. Kasi yan yung mga para sa akin, risk yan yung mga top performer, risk sa akin yun. Hindi ko sila nakikita as gonna be beneficial on my end at the long run. Kasi yun yung mga, para sa akin, risk siya. Kasi all of a sudden, then alam mo yun, they're taking their skills, they're using their skills para, hindi mo ako mapa-fire kasi magaling ako. No. You can get fired easily. I can replace you.
That's what people don't know,
Mhm.
right? So everyone is replaceable, but it doesn't mean we want to replace people,
That's
right?
right.
So
That's right.
as much as possible, if you can stay with us, it's better, right? It's perfect, diba? Pero people shouldn't always assume that they're not replaceable.
Yeah.
Ang hirap po maghanap ng trabaho ngayon, diba? So yun naman
That's
yun.
right. Oo.
Diba? So as tayo bilang business owners, we want to provide opportunity as much as possible. Diba? Sana yun din ng diba?
Kasi okay, as a business owner, I guess we're thinking differently from the employees, right? So even if you have the human resource, pero sometimes they practice what's in the book. For us kasi, ako naman, pag ganun may situation ako nakikita na okay, nagkakaroon ng habitual tardiness yung aking employee, I do coaching first. Coach ko muna siya, I dig more information, ba't nangyayari yun?
Root cause analysis, diba?
Right? So I give a chance. Kasi then you basically plan for how you can make it to improve it, right? So I don't know if you guys familiar with stewardship model.
We've heard of it.
So basically that's what we practice in Canada and I applied it in here. So stewardship model, instead na the employee is serving you as a boss, what we did is a leader serve the employee. Parang yung funnel binaliktad namin.
Ganito yan diba?
Oh.
Tell me what you need, I'll provide it. Diba? Tell me what you need to create results,
Yeah.
diba? I'll help you with it.
Alam mo, kinagagalit ko yan. Pupunta ako sa opisina namin, sa clinic namin, and makikita ko yung mga nurse namin. Simple things like sira ang upuan. Diba? Yung desk is falling apart.
Yeah.
Yung computer is nagahang. Pag nakakita ko na gano'n, mainit ang ulo.
Right.
Kasi sabi ko sa kanila, how can your employee can perform the duty that we ask them if they don't have the capability, if they don't have the equipment that they can use? Kaya ang procurement namin, for example, laptop, normally pag mahal yung laptop, give us 30 days. Right? Pero for example, kung ang laptop dyan is like 50, 70,000, we provide it the next day. Kasi that's the employees Oo. And yung upuan, pag nag-procure kami ng upuan, pag sira, talagang procure. Kasi I work in the government in Canada. And basically, yung mga, we're working as a tech, di ba? We're just putting a band-aid dun sa equipment na ginagamit namin to think that is a first world country, right?
Right.
So ngayon, binago ko yung approach dito sa Pilipinas. If you need something, let me know. If we can buy it to make your life easy, we will do it. So that's my principle. So I highly invest in people and equipment that make their life simple.
And let's be realistic, no? As chief executives of our companies, we serve our people.
That's right.
Totoo yun Dapat talaga, you serve your people.
You're not
Bakit?
the boss.
You're not the boss. Sabi
True.
ko nga lagi, sabi ko to sa mga empleyado, kayo yung boss ko. Bakit? Tell me what you need.
That's right.
Diba? Sabihin mo sa akin kung anong kailangan mo. Bibigay ko. Bakit? I can't do what you're doing right now.
That's right.
But I'll help you achieve what you want to achieve. Diba? So, totoo yun. I mean, I can really relate sa sinasabi ni Brother Chris, no? Dami ko natututunan sa kanya, no? Dami rin nababalid sa mga ginagawa natin, diba? So, mga co-founders, ang dami natin matututunan sa discussion natin with Sir Chris, no? But unfortunately, we've reached our ending part of the podcast.
Oh.
Now, I have one final question kay Sir.
I'm trying to validate yung mga konsepto ng pagninegosyo. And sobrang successful talaga ng negosyo ni Sir Chris kasi una-una yung product. Sobrang unique na halos walang, I think number 1 ngayon si Chris,
We're number 1
Yeah.
pagdating sa sleep clinic. Yeah.
And then, yung pangalawa, yung operations and admin na ginagawa ni Chris na automation para mapadali yung proseso ng ang importante sa negosyo, yung pagbebenta no? To the point na nag-invest sa e-commerce si Chris. Nagkaroon siya ng sistema para magkaroon ng sa e-commerce no? So,
Yeah. Consultation is coming from the e-commerce inquiries, and then it will be answered by my nurses or respiratory therapists. And then once they need a consultation, we pass it to the doctor. The doctor will prescribe diagnostic equipment. And then after that, the doctor will prescribe the equipment for treatment, and we sell it.
yeah, going back to that, yun yung sinasabi ko na napaka-importante ng sales and marketing sa negosyo. Kaya nag-10x ang negosyo ni Chris because that, yung binigay ng solusyon para paano mapadali yung pagbebenta. So, yun, sobrang ang laki na nakita ko yung opportunity na mag-scale up yung negosyo ni Chris.
One thing that I learned in one of my business mentor in is $1 billion industry in Canada is that if you cannot explain your sales process in a 5 different step, it's not a sales. You're not gonna be wealthy,
Yeah.
right? So you should be able to explain your steps in 5 different steps before you close the cycle of sales. Then that's a business. Pero if there's about 28 steps,
Hey, mahirap yan.
right? Mahirap yun eh.
Oo.
So yeah. So basically that's right.
Yeah.
Not
Kahit gaano kaganda yung produkto mo, kung hindi magaling ang sales and marketing mo, baliwala yan.
Saka ang ano ko dito, no, medyo nababali dito eh. As an executive, a chief executive, dapat you spend less time with admin works and focus more on
Oh, I
sales
hate
and marketing.
that. Yes.
Kasi yun talaga dapat yung trabaho mo eh. Diba? Sabi ka, kahit pa sabihin mong you're the top of the board, you always make sure you have complete touch pa rin ng sales and marketing mo. Nakikita mo pa rin yan. Kasi that's what drives the
At
business.
minsan yun ang diniintindihan ng mga tao lang sa baba. Yung simple nga networking natin, that's giving more chance para sa sales and marketing ng mga negosyo natin.
That's reality.
I've seen that a lot, especially nung mga nag-i-start kami. That especially dito sa Pilipinas, what I've seen is that they're very into admin work, like paperwork, like process. Ang sinasabi ko, especially pag nababa yung sales, no admin work for this week. Wala talaga. I want your focus in sales and marketing.
At ang
That's
pinakamaganda kasi boss na ginawa mo yun, inaaral nga natin eh. Sabi nila, out of 100%, ang nakikita pa lang natin is 5%. So for you boss, nakikita ko kasi is yung 95%, na-touch mo na iba doon because of the e-commerce na. So,
Actually, hindi pa eh.
Actually, pero imagine,
Oo.
you're the number 1, hindi pa.
Yeah.
What more? So, boss, ano pa yung nakikita mo dito na tipong paano mo pa matatouch yung another 5% na market na hindi mo pa natatouch?
Good question, because that's one of the discussion that I had with one of the biggest supplier ng treatment, no, yung CPAP machine. So, it's the education part. Kasi not all the people, especially here in the Philippines or Southeast Asia per se, that for example, you have diabetes, right? Ang bibigay ng doktor is what? Medication.
Yes.
Ang approach sa Canada iba. Sleep study ka muna.
Okay.
Okay?
So, ang kagandahan pala, sir, no, the moment na kailangan mong i-reach out yung napakaraming tao, kasi hindi mo naman kaya yung dito, barangay. So, you have to have a online class.
Yes. So what we're doing, hindi naman sa online class, but we have we have a really good informational education sa global sleep care.
Like knowledge-based kind of.
Alright.
So frequently asked question, how to get treated, explanation, what are the signs and symptoms for OSA. Andun siya lahat, very informative. And also you can take a free assessment. You go to our website or Facebook page, it's gonna pop up the sleep quiz. And the sleep quiz, you can take it. It's a free assessment too, to see if your sleep is good or not. And we can then if you're having a problem, we do offer 30-minute free consultation. So you're gonna speak to one of our sleep consultant on the phone. You can talk to them. They're gonna advise you based on your condition, right? Kasi we believe that if you're being honest with the consumer, or you're telling them the truth, that you're educating them, right? Which is happening on the company. Sales is coming second. Talagang overflowing. Alam mo 'yon?
Giving value by educating them.
Oh,
Right.
kasi yung for example, yung nakausap namin from 3 years ago, bumabalik eh. Wala naman sila
Kami
mapupuntahan.
hindi namin
lang
alam
yun
na 200 pala yung ganong sakit na pagka ano.
Oo.
Pero pakiramdam ko magpapatay sa tayo eh.
Kasi especially sa mga business owners, right? Business owners, you guys are like, pretty much 24/7.
Yes.
Like
Walang
restaurant.
pahinga.
Walang pahinga.
Kulang ang 24 hours.
And then if you want to to shut your brain, you're gonna put away your phone for 5 hours, right? And then yung 5 hours ba na yon, is that considered as quality of sleep?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Kasi minsan may isip ka pa eh, di ba?
Or if you're waking up still feeling tired, if you're waking up in the morning still feeling tired, parang groggy ka, brain fog is the most common as well. Taking naps in the afternoon, drowsy driving. There's so many things, right? Kaya nga sabi ko, it's like right? It's a $40 billion industry in Asia alone. So it's a big opportunity, right? That's why they came up with ngayon may lumabas nga which is I'm going to US to learn about the tawag dito planted na ini-implant na yung device.
Right.
Oo, ini-implant yung device to electrocute the tongue para mag-move forward. So meron na rin ngayon nagde-develop na rin sila ng medication, right? And it's being clinical trial na rin sa Mayo Clinic. So there's so many things that's being ngayon lumalabas na mga treatment for sleep problem like specifically sa OSA.
Bago natin tapusin to, napansin ko apakaganda ng resort mo.
Yes, thank you so
Diba?
much.
Apakaganda. Ilang villas to?
We actually have like 2 operating villas and we have the 3rd floor which is I'm still contemplating if I'm gonna rent it out or not. Pero we'll see. Basically we love to travel. Family love to travel. Yung kids ko is yun nga sabi ko nga sa kids ko, I want them to try yung buhay dito sa Pilipinas but they like it but they don't like traffic.
They don't like
And-
the weather.
Okay lang sa kanila yung weather pero hindi ko kasi even though I'm telling them that okay sometimes you need to blend in, right? Sa mga cousin mo na okay pero sila kasi parang siguro they're accustomed to life there sa US, parang standards nila hindi na bumababa. Kaya gusto ko pag yung anak ko lumaki papupuwing ko rito mag-try ka mag-Airbnb o mag-try ka na alam mo yun yung
Ma-familiarize sa kultura ng Pilipino.
kasi sila parang ang taas ng standards. Minsan doon ako nahihirapan
Hmm.
na i-implement. So basically, we created this resort by having the family to contribute their ideas. Right? So pati ito kasi may, revenue generating siya. It's not really my rest house. Lagi ko narinig yun, ganda ng rest house mo. I wish it's my rest house. Rest house is liability for me.
Right.
Right? So, I want to build another one to generate more revenue, but I don't have a house. Sinabi ko nga sa'yo, I only sleep in the clinic. So, if you're gonna ask me, a lot of people ask me, where do you live? I don't have a house. Right? I sleep in the
NPA.
I sometimes sleep in Las Piñas, sometimes in Makati, sometimes here. If I'm gonna build like a house, let's say 50 million, 100 million house, who's gonna live there? Right? It's not gonna make me any wealthier.
So,
So-
ito pa lang it shows you've learned your lesson from
Yeah,
the previous ventures you did.
I drive Fortuner. Someone asked me like, why are you driving Fortuner? It's a car. What's wrong with a Fortuner?
Oh, wait. Ano ang dinadrive mo sa Canada? There you go, mga ka-co-founders. Thank you so much, Sir Chris Salumbides. Right? For
Thank you for having
joining
me.
our podcast episode for today. Right? He is the CEO of the Global Sleep Group and the owner of the Royal Manor Hot Spring Resort. Diba? Na perfect ko na yung perfect ko na yung pangalan Diba? Well, thank you so much again, Sir Chris. My name again is Harold Bautista, your techpreneur host.
Ryan Soriano, your ISO King.
Chef Anthony Ang, your chef consultant.
Sir Mervs Manalo, your Baraska King.
And if you want to see more videos like this, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, find our Facebook. Bye for now!
Thank you so much, guys.